Almost every Muslim knows Surah Ikhlas by heart. It's short, simple, and often the go-to surah in daily prayers. But what if I told you that behind its 4 brief verses lies a spiritual secret that most people never notice? A hidden blessing so powerful, it can equal the reward of reciting the entire Qur'an, protect your soul, and even lead you to paradise. Yet it's missed by 99% of us. Why? Because we recite it without reflecting on its meaning. Stay with me as we reveal the real power of this beloved surah and how to unlock its hidden treasure. 1. Frequent recitation. Missed meaning. Surah Ikhlas is one of the most recited chapters of the Qur'an. It's short, easy to memorize, and often included in daily prayers, especially when we're short on time. But because of its brevity and familiarity, many Muslims rush through it without pausing to reflect on its profound meaning. It becomes more of a habit than a heartfelt recitation. And that's where the hidden blessing gets missed. The beauty of Surah Ikhlas lies not just in its words, but in the powerful message it conveys. In just a few lines, it defines tawheed, the oneness and uniqueness of Allah, in the most complete way. This is the foundation of our entire faith, yet we often recite it like any other verse, without engaging our hearts and minds. Many Muslims don't realize that the true reward of Surah Ikhlas is tied to the intention and awareness behind its recitation. When said mindlessly, its impact diminishes, but when recited with understanding and reverence, it becomes a source of immense spiritual reward, protection, and peace. The Prophet ﷺ didn't emphasize it just for its length, but for its weight in meaning, something that sadly goes unnoticed by the majority of believers. 2. Massive spiritual reward. One of the most astonishing blessings of Surah Ikhlas is its spiritual weight. Reciting it once is equal to 1/3 of the Qur'an in reward. This isn't metaphorical. This is a clear statement from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, as recorded in Sahih al-Bukhari. Imagine that. Just 4 verses, when recited with sincerity, carry the weight of 1/3 of the entire Qur'an. That's not something to take lightly. But what does this mean? The Qur'an is vast in its themes: belief in Allah, stories of the prophets, laws, guidance, and more. Surah Ikhlas, in its powerful simplicity, summarizes the core of Islamic belief, tawheed. It affirms that Allah is one, eternal, self-sufficient, and that nothing and no one is like Him. In that sense, it captures the essence of the entire message of the Qur'an. So when a believer recites Surah Ikhlas, they're not just saying verses, they're affirming the purest declaration of faith. That's why the reward is so immense. However, many overlook this and treat it like a shortcut in prayer. But it's not the length, it's the depth that Allah rewards. This surah is a reminder that quality, reflection, and intention in worship matter far more than quantity. 3. Multiplying rewards through repetition. What if you could receive the reward of reading the entire Qur'an in under a minute? According to authentic narrations, reciting Surah Ikhlas 3 times grants the reward of reciting the whole Qur'an. This may sound unbelievable to some, but it's a clear and powerful teaching from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. In a hadith narrated by Abu Darda and recorded in Sahih al-Bukhari, the Prophet said that reciting Surah Ikhlas 3 times is equal in reward to the Qur'an in its entirety. But this doesn't mean it replaces the Qur'an or makes longer recitations unnecessary. Rather, it's a divine gift, a shortcut in mercy for those who are sincere. It emphasizes how beloved the message of tawheed is to Allah. The repetition of this short chapter when done with conscious intention, magnifies its blessings. Yet sadly, many Muslims recite it 3 times out of habit, especially before sleeping or during dhikr, without realizing the magnitude of what they're doing. Each repetition is not just a routine, it's a reaffirmation of the oneness of Allah, and each time it's said with presence of heart, the reward increases exponentially. So don't rush through it. Repeat it slowly, with intention, and receive its multiplied blessings. Authentic hadith reference. The incredible value of Surah Ikhlas isn't based on opinion. It's grounded in authentic hadiths from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, found in the most reliable collections such as Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. One well-known narration tells us that a man used to frequently recite Surah Ikhlas in his prayers. When asked why, he said, "Because it describes the most merciful, and I love to recite it." The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam responded, "Your love for it will admit you into paradise." This tells us 2 powerful things. First, that love and connection to this surah bring immense reward, not just recitation. Second, that the meaning of the surah, its description of Allah as one, eternal, and unique, is so beloved to Allah that it becomes a means for paradise. In another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam confirmed its weight by saying, "By the one in whose hand my soul is, it is equal to 1/3 of the Qur'an." Bukhari. These aren't metaphorical praises. They are spiritual truths meant to awaken our hearts. Surah Ikhlas is not simply a short chapter. It is a core declaration of belief, recognized and elevated by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself. Ignoring its depth is ignoring prophetic guidance. 5. Spiritual depth beyond the words. Many people recite Surah Ikhlas quickly, especially during Salah, without pausing to reflect on its meaning. But the real blessing of this surah isn't unlocked by words alone, it's hidden in the depth of your intention, the sincerity in your heart, and the awareness of who you're addressing. The surah begins with, "Say, He is Allah, the One," a command to affirm the absolute oneness of Allah. It reminds us that Allah is eternal, self-sufficient, and unlike anything we can imagine. These aren't just facts. They are truths that anchor the heart in certainty and love for the Creator. When a believer reflects on this while reciting, they're not simply earning rewards. They are drawing spiritually closer to Allah. That closeness is the hidden gem. It brings calmness in chaos, certainty in confusion, and light in darkness. Sadly, this depth is missed by many because we've become accustomed to repetition without reflection. But Allah doesn't just listen to the tongue. He listens to the heart. Reciting Surah Ikhlas mindfully can transform a few seconds into an act of immense worship, filled with love, presence, and connection. It's not how fast you recite. It's how much your heart is involved that counts. 6. Surah as protection and purification. Surah Ikhlas is not only a declaration of faith, it's also a powerful shield and a source of spiritual purification. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would recite Surah Ikhlas along with Surah Falaq and Surah Nas every night before sleeping, blowing them over his hands and wiping them over his body. This was his daily spiritual protection, and he taught his companions to do the same. What makes Surah Ikhlas protective? Its essence is tawheed, the absolute oneness and uniqueness of Allah. When you affirm that Allah is one, eternal, and free of all need, you are reminding yourself and proclaiming to the unseen world that your reliance is only on Allah. This creates a spiritual boundary against negative energies, doubts, and distractions. Moreover, Sincere recitation of Surah Ikhlas cleanses the heart from hidden forms of shirk, placing trust in anything other than Allah. It purifies your intentions and helps center your heart back to your Creator. Many people search for external solutions to protect their peace, but forget that consistent, heartfelt recitation of Surah Ikhlas is a divine armor. It purifies the soul, brings tranquility to the heart, and guards you through the unseen in ways you may never even realize. 7. Pathway to Paradise. One of the most beautiful and often overlooked blessings of Surah Ikhlas is that it can be a direct path to paradise. In a powerful hadith, a man consistently recited Surah Ikhlas because he loved its meaning. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, "Your love for it has earned you paradise." This shows that paradise is not just earned by quantity of actions, but by quality of connection to Allah. Surah Ikhlas is unique in that it perfectly summarizes tawheed, the foundation of Islam. When a believer recites it with awareness and love for Allah, they are expressing the purest form of worship. This sincere affirmation of Allah's oneness becomes a spiritual key, unlocking mercy, reward, and ultimately, Jannah. Many people seek complicated ways to get closer to Allah, forgetting that paradise may be found in the smallest surah, recited with the biggest heart. It's not about long recitations, it's about deep sincerity. Surah Ikhlas teaches us that the path to Jannah isn't always complex. Sometimes it lies in understanding and loving what Allah loves. And He loves this surah. So don't overlook it. Embrace it. Let it live in your heart, and it may open the gates of paradise for you. Surah Ikhlas is more than just a short chapter. It's a gateway to immense rewards, deep spiritual connection, and even paradise. Let's not be among those who recite it mindlessly. Instead, let every word flow with sincerity and reflection. If this opened your eyes to something new, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Pious Deen for more reminders that nourish the soul. May Allah fill your heart with light and your life with barakah. Comment below, Ya Allah, make my love for you sincere and my path straight.